Hello everybody, welcome to Richard's Reviews, where we've been doing reviews of random things, mainly model cars. For this episode, we're doing a review of the Lamborghini Countach. This particular model is a 1/24 scale model made by Revell. They have been in business for a good long time. They're known for making many of the put-together models. Before I get started about the car itself, going into the detail on moving parts, I just want to start off by saying this car I did buy secondhand, which is from a flea market, and it was a pretty good buy. Right around, I believe was $10, which really wasn't that bad. And for good detail as it is, it's not as detailed as other models I have seen of the Lamborghini Countach, but it is pretty well-rounded and well-detailed. First, I want to start off by showing, we'll open up the vertical doors, which makes Lamborghini famous, and the Countach was the first one to actually have the scissor doors, as they are called. If you can take a look on the inside, we can take a look on the inside. It's not that very well detailed for it. It's not that very well detailed, but because I have seen other models by different companies where they have even seat belts for the cars, stuff like that. This particular model by Revell does not have that. It does not even have an instrument cluster, which shows all the different things. You can't really see it from here, but it just has your basic interior, which basically just consists of the steering wheel and the gear shifter and the starting mechanisms, the ignition switch, whatnot. Well, not the ignition switch, but you can basically see the gear shifter in that. One thing about this unique model, it does have a windshield wiper. It shows them a windshield wiper, but it shows the one unique thing is the trunk space. It shows the trunk space, because that's unique about that, because most models made by different companies do not have the trunk space to open. They mainly just have the engine cover to open, and that's what we will get to next. We will show, if you can see, if it will show up that well or open, is the engine. And that's one kind of bad thing about this model. Is the engine, well, you can't really see it, but the engine cover does not stay open most of the time. And you can't really see the inside of the engine that well. It's mainly because the inside of it, well, it's showing just a shadow, but the engine is pretty well detailed. If you could actually see it, and we'll try to get some light on this, but it is pretty well detailed. It's not as well detailed as you would see in many other models. This particular model has one of my favorite things about the Countach, is which really just puts the icing on the cake with this model, is the rear wing, spoiler wing, which really just makes the Countach really unique and really just sets off. This particular model is modeled after the 80s model. I believe this one is copyrighted of the 1988 model. This one was made in particular actual model car was made in 1988, which is very interesting. But the little bit about the Countach, the name Countach really in Italian translates to, I heard it translate to many different things, but mainly just translates to wow or amazing, which was really what they were going for. This is the 80s model, like I said, which is my favorite model. The Countach came out in the 1970s, It really wasn't. The 70s one was not my favorite, but in the 80s, in the late 70s, about 77, I want to say, but around the 80s is when they give it a facelift, if you will. Gives it this look, give it an entirely new look with a little bit less weight to it, and the rear wing spoiler, and all these different unique designs, these different air intakes and stuff like that. They really changed it in the 80s. And really in the 80s you had several different models. Really in about 85, or no, really 88, 89, you had the 25th anniversary model, which was really unique. It came in really different colors and stuff like that. Some of them didn't really feature the rear wing spoiler and all this and that. While we're back at the end of the car, we're taking a look. You see the Lamborghini Countach name. If that comes in clear, the brake lights are kind of, if you can tell, the brake lights are pretty well detailed for this model. You have the dual exhaust and everything, and that is a detailed look at this, at the 88 Lamborghini Countach. This was actually the first 1/24 scale or model in my collection, with the many models that I would feature later, and is one of the unique cars too. Is one of my favorite Lamborghinis that actually put Lamborghini on the map. And one thing that's kind of bad about buying a second-hand car or model car is that you will have some parts missing and some parts damaged, and this one really wasn't all that bad damaged. But other than that, it's pretty good detailed for what I paid for it, and for a flea market find, if you will. So hope you enjoyed this detailed review of the Lamborghini Countach 1/24 scale by Revell, and thanks for watching.